ఆశకు వినిపిస్తుంది మాట్లాడుతూ ఉంది.
ఏమిటంట
ఏదో మాట్లాడుతూ ఉంటది. ఏం తోచదు, ఏదో ఫోన్ చేస్తుంది, వదలదు.
చెప్పబోయా మన ఫిలాసఫీ
చెప్పిన ఆమె కథ అంతా పట్టింపు ఉండదు. వాళ్ళ ఫ్రెండ్స్ ఉంటారు, ఓకే, వాళ్ళతో మాట్లాడుతూ ఉంటారు. ఎక్కడికో పెళ్లికి పోతున్నారంట, ఏడో చెప్పింది.
అదే చెప్తున్నా, ఇది మైండ్ అట్లా ఉన్నప్పుడు అట్లానే అవుతుంది. సో say I started other people also. Let's see. They're coming in. No, technical channels ఉంటాయి కదా. I have the other channels.
Okay.
See, those channels we have to look at, So, see. Hello everybody on Clubhouse and YouTube, LinkedIn, and also the Facebook. Welcome to people on the WhatsApp also. So today on our banner of satsang on Saturday, I just want to present something to you that I talked to my family, my wife and my sister. We were talking about something like what was the remarkable thing about a spiritual person that can go on even though somebody, I'm going to quote here, her husband died, but she has carried a significant work of his spiritual instructions, his spiritual empowerment of people. She did it for a long time, So that is something I thought I will talk to you guys about. Because she is remarkable. She is the wife of a great sage called Ramakrishna Paramahamsa in India, right? So I was talking about what she has done with her life, rest of the life. I think she was married very early, almost she was a child, I think, and she married also on the choice of Ramakrishna, but then when she came, they were celibate for life. So they were following brahmacharya because they wanted to spiritually evaluate, right? So that kind of thing was there with her. And then she practically lived with him, but never lived like a husband and wife, more like companions, great companions. And then they have done a lot of good work. She was cooking, she was maintaining the house and all that, but he was like spiritually practicing. He was going into samadhi on and off, and he was instructing. And his favorite student was Swami Vivekananda. And you know how much Vivekananda has done for that. Okay, so as I looked at her life, and then her life after her husband passed away, she lived almost 70, 80 years after he passed away. How did she live, and what was her strength, her inner strength that I want to point out? I think that's going to be a very good lesson for all of us. Okay, how we live our duties, how we live with the relationship with other people, and how we contribute to this world and life. I think she was exceptional, but at the same time, that can be done by anybody. That's the point. Okay, so if you could really understand that, then you will be able to really see why we are emphasizing this. See, lots of times people kind of advertise, oh, you can sleep better and if you do yoga or all these spiritual practices, or you have meaning and you will get something in heaven. So many things were kind of promoted and advertised, right? But if you look at uh, your own life, it seems like unless I have some benefit, why should I do it? That kind of thing, right? So when you practice yoga, when you practice any spiritual contemplative practice, we say your mind will be calm and you will be not agitated, emotionally stable, and you can sleep better and you can relate to other people better because you see the um, the life spark in everybody, and then you kind of treat people as human beings, not as just the human bodies or human minds, which is okay, but still we are much more than that, right? So like a patient comes in front of me, I try to relate with the being. That being is common to all of us, and in that we are all one. And then you can see all the mind patterns, body patterns as acquired habits and not really them. We usually based on that we judge a person is good or bad, a person is evil or not, a person is useful for me or not, something like that. That's all the ledger of mind we keep. Leave it alone and then see that human being, who it is in front of you as the being, and also the being in all animals on plants. For example, the great Ramana Maharshi, when he saw a python coming into his garden and climbing up on the they call that like a bamboo support thing that they put in for the creepers to go, and this also goes creeping up on that, stays there forever and goes away. And he sees that being in that python also. So that's the remarkable thing about the spiritually evolved people. Now, this Ramakrishna Paramahansa was also equally great sage. He was spiritually evolved. He was seeing being in everybody. But he said some people are right, some ready for this, some people are not. So he would not talk to everybody, only the people that come to him with questions, with lots of inquisitiveness, right? So he led a very pious, very pure, very good life for a long time. And then he passed away. Then our main story heroine is his wife, right, Sharada Devi, and she was living for 70, 80 years, and she was not weeping that she lost her husband, and she wasn't really. She accepted it as the body and mind will go away, but his inner spirit is not going to go away. For her, it's not like she lost him, but what she gained in his presence when he was alive was to cultivate this inner core of authentic self, which is really empowering her in a way that is not marketed, that's not shown to many modern people, how beneficial and how beautiful, how peaceful, how joyful this inner realization of being, right? And then, like Eckhart Tolle writes in his book now, to regain the memory of that being and embodying the feeling realization, not thought, feeling realization of that being is an enlightenment, right? And that is enlightened people that are not in their ego, in their senses, in their mind, but they transcended, they understood them and they transcended. And then staying in that being all the time, embodying the feeling realization of that being, that enlightened souls, they lived on earth not for their personal enjoyment or personal securities or anything that we do, modern people do. We have a lot of desires, so we have a lot of accumulations, we associate security with them. That's our lot, right, generally. But then this person is an embodiment of being, and thereby she was able to function very well in society. After the death of her husband, what happened to her was she was living 70 to 80 years, still cooking for a number of people coming to that ashram, not much money, but she just did whatever she could do with what she has, and then what is donated to the ashram. And uh, she also worked physically to clean the house and keep the upkeep, and also provide time for people to come and talk to her and also realize this self through the spiritual practice. So she initiated several of them into that, and she also really actually showed them the ways of yoga mantra, or meditation, dhyana, all those things. She kind of showed people and taught them, so empowered them and make them realize that this is something that she could do, right? So she did all that, and that kind of counter narrative for our culture, which is burnout culture. So I would say this is a counter narrative for burnout culture. What is our culture do? Our culture places external things as important, not just enough to make money, but to make lots of money, make it a psychological insecurity and achievement. You know, agreed, you want to make a living, to eat, to shelter, to educate, and all that. That's fine, but that balance is not so much really kept on, right? That's one thing. And then uh, our culture promotes go and enjoy yourself, sensory indulgence. And that is something spiritual people withdraw with patyahara, right? And then, or they say your mind is important, your personality, your ego, and then sets up with a clash with other people. We don't accept everybody as human beings, as one energy. We cannot divide ourselves against them. That's why the separation, the loneliness, the suicides, all those things are happening in the burnout culture. So I say that modern living is a culture of burnout eventually. Some people do, some people don't. But lately, a lot of people are burning out because of the information age, and they're making their mind a storehouse of so much of information, and they don't know how to empty that end of the day. That's why they live with a lot of memories, a lot of experiences, a lot of samskaras, we call it in Sanskrit. So it's not like I live and leave it alone. I kind of want to own it. I want to keep it in my mind and then go with the thought. So, in a sense, we don't live in the life which is the present moment. We live in our mind, which is the past or the future, right? So, all these things were not there when she was living in the present moment, in the pure energy of hers, which is the enlightened energy, right? That is the counter narrative for burnout culture. She is a good example for that. She did not waste her time or energy or anything by weeping over what is inevitable. All human beings, the body and mind, will perish, will end, right? So she accepted that fact that if sooner or later his body has to do, and he was suffering from throat cancer. So she let him go. She let him go from her memories, from everything also, but she retained what he taught her, how to be in that inner self, not in the mind, how to engage the mind in useful things, and then teach people, empower people, and all. So what I am saying is, we talk about yoga being good for the body, good for the mind, but real yoga is identifying that you are that jiva. That means individual consciousness that is reflected in you is actually part of the universal consciousness. Realizing that, you stay in that universal consciousness. They call that Brahman in India, Tao in uh, China. So once you are in that universal, eternal being, then the body and mind are your tools, and they will end it. So you won't weep on that, but you strive to be on that inner self of yours. That is missing in our modern times. That's why we are become such a burnout culture. Okay, I want to draw importance to that and bring you to that fore. Okay, so that you understand, and you see what is the important thing about being in that energy and then living like that and relating to the world like that. Okay, so what she did was she worked very hard physically with her body to provide food for other people, and then she worked very hard with her mind to make people realize that they have this inner being itself. That is the initiation she was doing, and helping them to be not in the mind but in the inner energy, inner presence, right? So that inner being, and she has been doing that for so many years, so one of the young lads who was in the ashram, he's I can say mother, they always all address her as mother, right? Mother, oh, why you are so old and so hardworking, giving so much physically, mentally, and also spiritually. But why do you have to work so hard? Where does your motivation come? Where does your energy come? Where does this tremendous compassion, kindness come? So you are touching all of our lives, but you are kind of working very hard. She said, "Look, child, I don't feel I'm working hard at all. I work with a lot of pleasure, a lot of happiness, a lot of joy. Basically, I work in joy. And that joy, that abundant self is within all of us." And Ramakrishna made me realize that. Not that he gave it to her. He made her realize that. When she realized that, she ended up staying there with her own selfless service, that is karma yoga, and devotion to the inner divinity, that is bhakti yoga, and focus on whatever she is doing, that is Raja Yoga. And she was really working physically and taking deep breaths. That's the Kriya Yoga, And she is also really learning what is the real truth about ourselves, our human beings. And that way, and she explored that with him, when Ramakrishna was alive. And when she read his he wrote a very good book where you can go and read his sayings and all that. She was doing that all the time. So she was on the path of questioning, finding out the truth of life. That is the Gnana Yoga. Okay. So action yoga, karma yoga, devotional yoga, bhakti yoga, breathing yoga, that is the Kriya yoga, and focusing yoga, that is mind focus and all that, that is the Raja yoga, and finding the truth of the life, that is Gnana yoga. She combined all this as she is living, right? But she was basically in devotional yoga and focus yoga, right? And she was also imparting knowledge that she learned to other people. Thereby, she is always remembering that. Okay, that is a good thing about spirituality, is when you talk about these things, they kind of reinforce within you. Okay, that's why you got to listen to spiritually oriented people, spiritually delivering these truths for us. Those way we should be listening to that. And the benefit of that, you're not in the burnout, but you will be working very much. You will be sharing very much, like Sharadamba, and she will be, you will be in joy. You are not spending your energy. You are not burnt out. You are more like a expanding and giving. So from that abundance. So that's why I said this is very important for us to understand in the modern life, and not to be completely engaged with materialistic pursuit, but then spiritual pursuit in the sense of realizing our inner being and staying there. That's what I wanted to tell you today, so that you'll understand what I'm talking about, and why I kind of strive so much every day to share this truth with you. So it is an inside job. It is inward orientation. It is awareness, not thought. It is sense of seva, that is service, that is important. It's just a question of not lamenting on the past, or being fearful of the future, but here and now, how can I live this moment well? Once you have that, then you will be able to understand this is a very good thing. There's inner orientation and controlling the mind and the senses. That's where I fail too. I want to eat tasteful things, not too much, but still enjoy taste. That will mean you still sensory, maybe low, but still sensory indulgence. That is there where I am. I just have to get over that sensory indulgence once in a while. Okay, even though it is done once in a while, you got to transcend that. Mind, you have to transcend your ego, personality, everything that you built up. And then you open up your heart, because heart is not clouded by our mind. So having the heartful living, having the giving living, having the learning living, having the really sharing with other people and treating people as a part of us. All these are real good things about our spiritual practice. So there was a wonderful, I will conclude with this, I think almost about 22 minutes or so now. See, when I close my eyes, a spiritual person said, I have this quietness, this no movement of the mind. I'm in samadhi, right? And that is peaceful, because my mind is not moving all over. So when I close my eyes, I have peace, because my mind is quiet, because I'm in the spiritual being. It doesn't just happen just because you say, mind keep quiet. No, it will go on. Just observe it. Don't indulge in it. Okay. But when I open my eyes, I want to see what I can do for the world. Never thinking about themselves, because they don't have to, because they have already this abundance of being within. Having the santosha, satisfaction, contentment with you, and you share, right? And when you share, it's like a expands, not reduces. Okay, so that's why when you test yourself, when I close my eyes, do I have peace of mind, peace of thought, peace of just existing, just being? Okay, just be. And when I open my eyes, do I think about what can I get from the world, or what I can give to the world? This is a good test for all of us to see where we are. Don't have to condemn yourself. Whatever you are, that's fine. Don't take the negative attitude, but then realize that there is this inner being abundance. Once you achieve that, you don't have to strive in life. On the other hand, you give to life. Okay, so that is what I wanted to share on the this Saturday on satsang, and hopefully that makes resonance with you, with whatever you are doing. So it's not about going outward, it's not about sensory images, it's not about meditating the chattering mind. All those things will be superficial. But when you say, I want to find out who I am, what is this mind that is chattering? Who am I? Who is that chattering? Who is that emotional imbalance? Those things are all about the body and the mind, but the real being do not have that. So realize where you are, and then really understand who you are, and then stay there. That's a years of practice probably for all of us. That is fine, but at least that orientation will not take you to trivial things of accumulation of things, or identifying with roles, or identifying with temporary things, and you will be large in your permanent eternal inner being. Once you are there, then your mind functions better, and your senses won't bother you, won't make you go and get the indulgence of the sensory indulgences. All those things will be out. You can eat, but you don't have to make it a psychological thing. You can eat, but you don't have to make it taste a big deal. Like, I want to eat only the sweets and all that. And then pay the price with the body and the mind. I hope you understood. This is a counter narrative for our burnout culture, that the burnout culture that's occupied with external stuff. And this is spiritual practice about inner self, liberating you from the external stuff, body, and also thought, mind, right? So you will be living with that abundance within you. Try that and close your eyes. Be with the breathing. Bring your mind to the center. Don't allow the mind to go all over. And then in that self, in that silent self within, stay there and then use your body and mind to serve the world, to do something. Like I'm trying to share this because there are so many people who are burning out, come seeking coaching, right? And then when we coach them, what is that we do? We kind of give them tools to not only empower the body with the ability to work, but also mind so that it won't go and indulge in all sorts of things. And once it is not there, and then you are serving your profession or whatever human beings you're serving through your profession, stay there. And then reap this benefit of long, like Sharada Devi, what she did for long years, she cooked and arranged meals and arranged spiritual courses, spiritual thing without taking anything in return. Okay, just compassion, kindness, and love. She shared that, and then she lived long and well. And she always said, "Ramakrishna gave me a Amrit Bhandar that I could keep within myself. And from there, I'm living joyfully and serving people, but never lost the sensation of what he gave me." And that is what I think our modern life also needs, and to some extent. And then you'll be really happy about that. Okay, so that is what you want to understand. So why spiritual quest? Why inner quest? Why this counter narrative to the burnout culture? That life of Sharada Devi is an example for us. Okay, so I'm going to do a major talk on this. When you live the life of a service with inner abundance that never exhausts, Sharada Devi is an example of that. She lived from the service, always service mode, and service from her inner abundance. She was not needing to get anything from that. Okay, she was always staying there, and then she is never exhausted. Remember what I said? After Ramakrishna died, she lived maybe 70, 80 years. And all through, till the end, she was servicing. She was cooking. She was initiating people. She was giving mantras for people to chant and to make their mind calm. So many services she gave. But it's up to them to really realize their own inner being and come from that. So don't go for external stability when your inner stability is not there. See, I was doing the retreat last time. That is the essence of what came out was if you want stability in your life outwardly, you have to have stability inwardly. That is my point of view, and that's what I was always talking about. Stabilize yourself inwardly, not by force, but by understanding, by going deep into it, by questioning things and then finding the answers. That knowledge, that inquisitiveness, that kind of exploring into the field of knowledge with saying, I don't know, I want to know. So when you come to the retreat, what I said was, know where you are. Are you able to keep your senses controlled, mind controlled? Are you able to be aware of the image that you built for yourself? Are you peaceful and happy and joyful inside, even though you don't have anything external? Are you able to give? Are you able to relate to people as though you and them are one? Those kind of things. If you are not there, then retreat from that kind of burnout culture to something like a spiritually liberated culture. That is the one that is recognized, and I want to show an example of how it looks like by showing you the life of Sharada Devi. Okay, and all of us, not just women, all of us can really be inspired by her living. Lived way after her husband died, but lived in service, lived in love and equanimity, and she lived in her being, that abundance of it. That's why when that young man came around and said, "How come you are working so hard, even though you're so old? You are how? Where does the energy come? Where does your strength come?" Then she said, "This is what Ramakrishna gave me. He gave me Amrit Bandar for me to realize that is already within me." Actually, he did not give. He gave the way to that, and she practiced that, and she did her work of giving up small pleasures and attachments and roles and all that, right? She just woke up and cooked and distributed, sat with people, uh, did bhajans, like a meditative singing of the song, and she gave mantras and initiations to people who are of the spiritual quest, never saying I'm such a big saint or no. She said I was found the way into this with the assistance of Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, and then now I'm living with this Amrit Bhandar. Remember that Amrit means ever living, that nectar of everlasting thing, right? Bhandar means like a big pot or big box of that, So Ramakrishna gave the key, keys to your inwards inner being. And take the cues and work. You have to work at it. Okay, you cannot get rid of your own mental conditioning, your own body conditioning just like that. You got to remember that, and you retrain your body, retrain your mind, retrain your heart. Then live a heartful living where the ledger of mind is not there, and you just give from your heart. That is the service. Okay, so I think I spoke about 30 or 32 minutes now. So I will stop there. And anybody has any questions, you will ask me. From here onwards, the structure is going to change because I'm not going to, not allow people to come back. I can talk to people on WhatsApp, and I can talk to people on Clubhouse or the social audio. But I'm not really engaging people on the Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Now we're going to send invitations on those channels so that people can come and send me the questions. So there's a single chat thing that we have to figure out. I'll figure it out. Once you do that, then I can invite questions, and as the questions come, I can read and answer you. And also, I can extend invitation to appear on this so they can come and talk here too. So thank you for being my audience today, and let me share what I feel that's a very important counter narrative for burnout culture. Okay, that is my title today, and this counter narrative is something not just a statement. It's a way of living that you want to live like the Sharada Devi and not be immersed in how many women they kind of still weep about her husband because they are weeping for themselves. They don't have the companionship, they don't have the guidance, the security of the husband, and all that. But don't have to. Like the men also, they kind of more their wives. One of my friends came to me all the way from India, and he lost his wife of 50 years or so, and he was very sad, very pulled down, and he is still helping people to be happy and all that, but still he is not happy, okay, because he was not able to go to this kind of uh, inward orientation, living with that abundance and not allowing your mind to put you down. Okay, so I hope you understood all that I'm talking about, and if you have any questions, ask me. Okay. Like I said, I'm not allowing major channels, but we have to figure it out. I figured it out yesterday, so we'll do that. Okay. All right, if you everybody satisfied with what you said, let me see what my family thinks. Dharani, Chinnaka, do you have any questions or do you understand what I'm talking about to you all the time?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
బాగుంది ఆమె గురించి ఎన్నిసార్లు విన్నా కూడా విన్నాను.
Yeah.
మహాకృష్ణ
No, no, you have to grasp how she lived.
ఆమె ఆమె కొన్ని మార్గాలు చెప్పింది. ఆ మార్గాలు
చెప్పడం కాదు. No, 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 not that. It is about how she lived.
అదే అదే
You always listen and you don't implement it. What's the use?
నిజమే నిజమే.
Say what it is how she lived is our way forward.
నిజమే.
We don't have to punish ourselves. Just it is so, but you can also realize there is a other way of living for human beings that is available to everybody. The whole point of her life is not to what she said, not what she did not say anything. She only practiced everything.
మార్గం చూపెట్టింది.
No. She found the path through Ramakrishna. And then we all have to do the spiritual quest like she did and then get established in that. So she wasn't even saying that I'm a realized person, I'm going to show you. No, she said Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, because he's a truly spiritually evolved person, right? He is able to show us, but we cannot show it to other people. We can live it. See, we don't have the spiritual, luminary like Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, Ramana Maharshi and all that. But what we can do is, we can catch that and live it. No, we get immensely beneficial. Our mind will be calm and we'll be living in the present and we'll be contributing. And we are happy that we are sharing to other people and also we are helping them come out of this sorrow. That is, the modern culture is breeding more and more suffering. So, okay. All right then. Sharmi, you have any questions?
Please put some water. Yes, doctor. I have some questions. Actually, I joined a little late. I didn't realize the audio was very less volume. Sure. Basically, what I understood is she has done everything with service mindset.
Yeah, she has no concern about herself because she has this abundance within her.
But in these days, so much there is.
It's not about these days. It's about the burnout culture that is there.
Yeah,
but don't.
Nice, too nice. They take advantage.
No. Don't blame others. That's not about other people at all. It's about our own inner core. Okay, you always go to other people and blame them. No use, because it doesn't result in anything. What it is they will be like that. But we have to be.
I try to be loving, forgiving, and never do anything back. But then I get kind of abandoned.
That is the problem. Don't expect anything.
Yeah, I'm not expecting.
No, you are expecting when you say they are doing this, they should not be doing it. That is also expecting. What Sharda did was, whoever came across her. No, listen, Sharmi. Very important thing for you. Whoever came across her, she didn't look at the evil, the ungratefulness and all that. She looked at the inner being of that person.
Yeah, I also feel that way. I want to be there for them. I want to help them.
No, not being there. Not being there. You are identifying with the lesser side of them. You want to identify their higher self that is there. They may also not know about it. You see, the key difference is really remembering everybody has this big you and me. But if you take our personality problems, our ego problems and all that, then we are pulled that way. Right? But if you identify this person, even though he is evil outward behavior, there is inner being, you want to focus on that for your own sake. See, she was living with people who are coming to the ashram. They are restless, don't have any peace, they have a lot of sorrow in their life, right? And they come for the peace. When they came, she didn't say, I have the peace, I'm going to give it to you. She said, this is why I have the peace. This is where I am focused on inner being, and then staying there, I have peace of mind. Because mind doesn't take as now your mind takes the precedence for your inner being, even though your inner being is there. That's why realizing yourself becomes the biggest deal for us, right? Realizing our inner self is the biggest deal. So, like I said, Raman Bashi saw the python, but he identified the being in the python. Like that, those spiritually evolved people, they can relate to the being of everything. That's their life force. Whereas we kind of relate with the things that are after the life force. Without life force, our mind is not there. But then our mind creates all these things, we identify with that. It's actually a very simple point, but we are so enmeshed by our mind activities, we think we don't have that inner being, or we don't identify people with inner being even though they are coming. Somebody asked a question like this: how would you equate Hitler and Mother Teresa? Raman Maharshi, they asked him, he said, well, Hitler, Mother Teresa, they have different external application of their mind, right? As their nature. But their inner nature is actually that everlasting life force, which is permanent. They lost touch with it, Hitler like. But Mother Teresa went and identified that and went and stayed in that. That's why I quoted Eckhart Tolle. He wrote, regaining the memory of being. About this, regaining the memory of being, and really, feeling realization of the inner being, embodying the feeling realization. That is the one. We don't embody that. We go out of something far distance. Oh, we have to do this, we have to do that. All these external things are so important for me. So we lose that. What I was telling in the retreat also, retreat from this way of living to that inward, calm, peaceful, joyful, happiness living by being who you already are. Hi, Prasad, how are you? Prasad, are you there? Still muted though. So the main point is there is a inner abundance in all of us, and the way towards is inward. And once you really firmly landed in that, you can live life like Sharadamba, a life of contribution, a life of service, a life of joy, and relieving suffering on earth. Okay, with Shivakri, so many people initiated them into this, and put them on the path towards self by themselves. Okay, she is not giving anything; she is just living it. She is showing by her example what it is to be spiritually inclined. Okay, so the people, the sooner they understand, the sooner they turn inward, the more chance to realize our inner being and living in the present and living joyfully. Okay. And if you say this is not important for me, I have to go and earn money, I have to do this and all that, that's up to you. Nobody should judge you on that, but it's up to you. Lead a life of burnout culture, you know, and then come back again. So they will say, oh, balancing it. Is that really balancing? Or when things are going out, you're okay, but when things are not there, you are crushed. That's what I see, a lot of stressed out, burnout people. So this is a very important aspect of our human beings. It's not really advertised that we have this abundant Amrita Bhandar. That's what she said, right? Amrit means nectar of forever life. Bhandar is that big pot. Okay, so she was led to that. That is there in us, all of us, And she was sincere to do that because she was celibate, she was unselfish, she was always serving, and she was always heartful. She treated everybody like children. That's why they call her mother. She fed them. She made them liberate from their mental confusion. She led them to this nectar of pot, Amrit Bhandar, that we already have. Okay. All right, then I will end this at this time. We are almost 45 minutes today, and I will talk to you again later. Bye bye.